Okay, now we see the next topic of deep neural network, that is your connections. Right? So the connections play a very important role in deep network. All the neurons, right, जो भी neurons है, they should be visualized for their arrangement in the layers. That means all the neurons are arranged in the layers. This example in networking, right, we have a application layer, right? We have a OSI model. In OSI model application layer है, session layer है, presentation layer है, and so on. But all these layers are all these things are arranged in the form of layers. OSI model जो है, it arranged in the form of layers. So in the same way, all the neurons, right, when we see the graphical structure of this neuron, we should be visualize this neuron in the form of layers. Okay? Layers के form में होगा, right? All the neurons are connected in the form of layers. एक बार connections जो है, these are the very important part in the neuron. The arrangement of these processing element, that means neurons, and their geometry, the structure, are very essential part of ANN. मतलब ANN में न्यूरल नेटवर्क, आर्टिफिशियल न्यूरल नेटवर्क में द न्यूरॉन्स का जो अरेंजमेंट है एंड द ज्योमेट्री, मतलब हाउ दे आर कनेक्टेड विद ईच अदर, द इनपुट एंड द आउटपुट नोड्स आर कनेक्टेड विद ईच अदर, राइट? तो वी हैव द अरेंजमेंट ऑफ दिस neurons. So these two things are very important in the neural network, because the output of the neural network is depend on the arrangement of these two elements, processing element and geometry. These are the two factors. The output will be depend on these two factors. Okay. Now we can see here, right, there are different ways of arranging the neuron. This is your structure, as we can see here. So in this, right, in the first part, this is my input layer. This is my input layer, or this is your output. Within input layer, the nodes are called as input nodes. These are called as input nodes. Within output layer, nodes जो रहेंगे, they are called as output node. So this is called as right, this structure is called as single layer neural network. Single layer. This is your single layer neural network. So in single layer neural network, we have a two layers, input layer and output layer. No hidden layers are there. इसमें hidden layers नहीं, right? In this case, right, we have a input layer. इसको हम लोग input layer, this is your output layer, and there are hidden nodes. This is your hidden layer. This type of neural network is called as multi-layer. Multi-layer neural network. So the connections to the neuron is either single layer or multi-layer. In case of single layer, we have only two layers. There are two layers only, input and output. In case of multi-layer, we have three layers. Input layer, hidden layers. Right? We can have more than one hidden layers in the output layers. So this is the structure. Now we will see the basic model of deep network. Deep network का जो basic model है, this is your basic model of deep network. So in this, we can see that, right, this is my basic model. अब इसमें क्या है, right? What are the things, right? We first of all see this model in detail. So first, always remember, wherever the x1, x2, x3 dot xn, these are called as inputs. These are my inputs. Then w1, w2, w3 dot wm, these are called as weights. These are my weights. And in y is called as out. So these are the representation of variable in neural network. Inputs are represented using a small x variable, and weights are represented by w, and small y represents the output. Okay. Now, in this case, right, we also have the concept called as bias. We have also a bias. So bias is right represented by either W0, but most of the book में bias is represented by B. Right? We also, मतलब the first input to the neural network. The first input to the neural network is nothing but your bias. Always remember this. The weight for the bias is your W0. The weight for the bias is W0. Right? W0 is the weight of the bias. So now these are the inputs, right? X1, X2, X3 and so on. This is my bias with the weight, and these are the weights of the input. What happened in this case, right? In this case, what happened? We will first find out the net input. हम लोग सबसे पहले क्या फाइंड आउट करेंगे? We will find out the net input. Right? To find out the net input, right, we have to use a formula. हमको एक formula दिया है, right? एकदम simple formula is there, right? Very easy formula है. You can find out the net input is represented by y in is your net input. So to calculate this net input, right, we have a formula b plus summation of I equals to 1 to n xi wi. So this is my formula, standard formula for calculating the net input. Suppose in case we have suppose two neurons, two input nodes are there. Suppose we have a two input nodes. Okay. So now in this case n is 2. So we can write this formula as y in equals to b plus. Now we start from the 1, right? x1 w1 plus x2 w2. So this is the formula for 2. If we have a 2 input nodes, the formula to calculate the net input is your b plus x1 w1 and x2 w2. In the same way, if we have a 3 inputs, then we can add x3 w3 and so on. Right? We can write this formula. As y in equals to b plus x1 w1 plus x2 w2 plus x3 w3 plus dot xn या m wn. So we can write the formula in this way also, right? ये वे में भी हम लोग को फॉर्मूला लिखना पॉसिबल है, right? So now this is the basic introduction of the neural network model. This is your model. I hope you understood this.